taser now.
No, no. Esto me come.
Was driving in the number 1 lane and a car flies by that trooper being clocked at about 116 miles an hour. The trooper initiates a traffic stop. The vehicle refuses to stop. A short, about a mile pursuit ensues. The vehicle pulls to the shoulder, still doesn't come to a stop, and then finally stops. Now, at this point, when you watch this video in its entirety, we want you thinking about the mindset of the officer and the suspect, and then also the capabilities that the officer has, the training, experience, and then the resources. What resources do you actually have available to you? Once you watch this, really focus on that, and then we're going to break down those 3 categories. Now let's watch the video.
Get out of the car. Get out. Get out. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Roll over right now.
Why?
Roll over. You're going
Why?
to jail. Roll over. I'm going to pull the trigger.
Why?
Roll over. Roll over. Roll over on your stomach. Now. Roll over.
I feel like why? Why?
Roll over.
Why?
Roll over on your stomach. Roll over on your stomach.
Okay.
stomach. Roll
Why
over.
you only one?
You're going to jail.
Why? I'm nothing. I'm going to my house.
Roll over. Roll over.
I'm going to my house.
Roll over.
I'm going to my house. I'm going to my house. Everything. No. Why? I need to go to. Why? 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 Into my home. Into my home.
Give me that taser now.
No. Because into my home.
Move, man,
One,
move.
two, okay.
Move. Gonna shoot you.
County, which way is the Ridgewood?
Shots fired. Get on your back. Get on your back. Roll over. Give me your hands.
Yeah, well, no, looks like they're pretty far out. They have a fast search on the highway, yeah. That Marvin around from the Monday area.
All right, so we just played the video for you guys. If we actually go back and start from the beginning when this person drives past a trooper at 116 miles an hour and she tries to initiate the traffic stop, let's talk about the mindset. And as an officer, what are you thinking when you do try to pull somebody over going that fast, what the driver does next? And in this case, he actually doesn't pull over. He continues to drive at very high rates of speed, and he's actually driving erratically, and he's all over the road. Your mindset as a police officer should be, this is a vehicle pursuit. You should be getting on the radio, broadcasting that out, that you're in a vehicle pursuit, giving your direction, your speeds, all the necessary things that you would have to call out during a pursuit. That should have been the mindset of the trooper. As you watch the video, to me, it seemed like her mindset the entire time was that this was just a normal traffic stop.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And your mindset should also be extended to thinking, why did this car just fly past me in a marked car? Mm-hmm. What are they running from? Like, why are they not stopping? Your mindset should be really thinking about, there's something else going on here. It's not just a car you come up on. This car passed you.
Yeah, and we've all been in situations where you're either on a freeway or some type of road where there's some high speeds going on, and cars sometimes do fly past you in a marked car, but then quickly realize it as they pass you and they slam on their brakes. That would be normal behavior of somebody that goes, oh shit, I'm speeding and I just passed a cop. That's normal. But when someone continues to drive fast like that, maybe they didn't see the marked patrol vehicle, but nonetheless, your mindset should be, as soon as you initiate your emergency lights and sirens and you're on this person's rear end, they're not stopping and they're actually driving erratic. You're in a vehicle pursuit.
Yeah. And in this case, this car goes pursuit, refusing to stop for almost a mile is what the report indicated, and then pulls the shoulder and then still doesn't stop.
All right. So as we progress through this video and the car finally pulls over, again, the trooper gets out of the vehicle. And honestly, I feel like she's already just pissed off at this point. I feel like she's emotionally charged because the car was driving so erratically. And here's the thing, like I'm putting myself in a position of being a highway patrol officer or a state trooper. That is their job. I mean, they deal with speeding people and traffic violations all day long. And I think for them, like they take that to heart. So when someone's driving like this, that's their main focus of their job. So I get that she's upset. She's pissed off. Like, why are you driving like an a-hole? I think that was her mindset going into this the whole time. And she disregarded the fact that, no, this dude was actually, it appears as if he's actually running from you, and then pulls over. So
I also think what's interesting on this, and it goes back to the officer's mindset, is this trooper is in the state of Arkansas, and it's actually happening near the border of Oklahoma. But this license plate of this car is a California license plate. So it's an out-of-state car that's driving like that, which is another flag in your mind that should be going off. Your mindset should be thinking there's something else going on other than a speeding vehicle.
All right, so she decides to get out of the vehicle and walk up to the car. The first thing that makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up or my skin crawl is she's on a busy highway. Cars are hauling ass, and she walks up on the driver's side. That freaks me out. I don't even like pulling people over on the freeway, but if I'm a trooper and this is something I do routinely, I mean, that in and of itself was a little concerning to me. I would do a passenger side approach because I don't want to get killed by a vehicle if it hits me.
To me, at this point, this is a felony vehicle stop all day long. I would never approach that car. There's multiple options. This car just fled from you. I would be staying in my car, waiting for additional officers to arrive and doing a felony vehicle stop.
I would too. I was a little shocked that that's not what happened, given the circumstance of what just led up to this. But she actually decides to walk up to the car, or driver's side approach, and contact the driver. Let's get into capabilities of what the officer's capabilities are, and as a cop, knowing what your own capabilities are if something fails and you have to go hands-on with somebody or defend yourself, use force, whatever. This scenario, she just opens the door, like zero explanation, just opens the door and immediately tries to get this dude out of the car. We later find out that he's an undocumented immigrant from Guatemala, speaks very limited English, and he's extremely intoxicated. You don't know that at the time when you approach him. Maybe she recognized that when she opened the door, and you could probably smell it. She's probably starting to put two and two together, what's going on. But nonetheless, you got to recognize that. And I don't think as a cop, pulling somebody over and then just walking up to a car, I can't think of a time I've ever done this, open the door and just rip someone out of the car with like zero explanation, no orders, no nothing.
I think at this point, it's gone from bad to even worse. I think this trooper is really blacking out or really forgetting where she is on the freeway. She's right on the shoulder of a busy highway. Cars at the speed limit you could see is 70 miles an hour. She's trying to pull this person out of the car. He's refusing. If she were to step back, let go of him, if he were to push her, she's going to end up in the number 3 lane. This is cringeworthy. I don't like this option whatsoever at this point.
Yeah, I don't either. And I'm sitting there watching this, and the first time I saw it, I mean, I was like, I was in shock, but like, I don't know, I couldn't even barely watch the video because I was just waiting for her to trip, fall backwards or something, and she's going to land in the number 3 lane of a major highway and get killed. So yeah, to me, this goes back to why I wouldn't do this on the driver's side. I mean, the other part of this too is we're talking about capabilities. Like, what are your capabilities as an officer to pull somebody that's physically resisting out of a vehicle? Our friends over at EF Combatives teach this, pulling someone out of a vehicle under control. If you haven't seen their stuff, go to their Instagram page. They're constantly posting tactics and how to get people out of cars and do it safely. But that's what's scary to me. And so when I think about capabilities, I don't know. It's hard for me to say that she's under control at this point and has the capabilities to do what she's even trying to do. You're trying to operate a taser in one hand. That's not working. He's clearly not going with the program, not getting out of the vehicle too. So that's where this whole, I guess, defensive tactics stuff comes into play. And like, how much are you training it? And how much are you training pulling people out of vehicles who don't want to come out? Look, a lot of the times we talk about if people don't want to get out of a car and you don't have the capabilities of getting someone out of the car, there's just been too many cases where cops have been shot and killed or run over or drug when they decide to take off. Now she's halfway in the car. Now she's being drugged down the side of the freeway. It's just a good way to get hurt. We're big advocates of backing off that car, take cover behind your own car, start calling in additional resources. And look, at the end of the day, you might have to stall out a little bit, but if it ends up being a vehicle barricade, it's a vehicle barricade. The suspect's going to dictate that.
Yeah. And at this point, this trooper is now on the ground with the suspect. And thankfully, he's not actually fighting her. I mean, there's a big difference between resisting.
Yeah. He's
resisting. He's trying to pull away. He's rolling. He's asking why. Versus fighting. And when the fighting happens is when they physically fight you and now you are trying to survive. In this situation, I think he's just passively resisting and kind of just trying to get away from her somewhat. But with the capabilities is she's not really able to even comprehend how to detain this person or handcuff. I don't think she's had any training in handcuffing someone that is somewhat resisting. Because watching her hand movements, her body positioning, how she's trying to control this person, there's none of that. This is a big learning point right here of how to handcuff someone that's outside of a car that's already on the ground and actually take control of them.
Yeah, I'm stressing out watching this because they're still on the side of the freeway on the shoulder side instead of the passenger side. I mean, they're struggling right there. So cars are within feet of hitting them. It's scary. And if as a person driving down the highway, when you see something like that going on, like your attention is going to be towards that cop. I mean, it would take one car to just kind of jerk to the right because they're not paying attention and plow into them and they're all dead.
So at this point right here, I want to point out based on the report that we have is that there is an officer, a trooper that is responding to this right now. He initially heard on the radio that this trooper right here put out a traffic stop and he heard that, but heard sirens in the background. And in his statement, he says that. And then he says, I heard what sounded like a scuffle. So that's only two things that's been broadcasted on this radio right now is that she was making a traffic stop and the sounds of a scuffle. There was no radio traffic from this trooper right here radioing for, I'm in a pursuit. The driver's not getting out. I'm fighting with someone. I've tased him. I need code 3 cover. There's been no communication.
Yeah. So when we talk about communication, I mean, you got to put all this stuff out on the radio so that you could even get help coming to you. If you don't put that out, then nobody's going to know. But I wanted to point out, he said that when the officer put out the traffic stop, he heard the siren in the background. As a cop, you're working patrol, you hear your partners put out traffic stops all the time. I always found it interesting that when I did hear an officer put a traffic stop and I heard the siren in the background, that always struck me as like, that's a little weird.
Oh yeah.
Is the car not stopping? Usually you would always sit there and be like, and you were waiting for that. Oh, I'm in pursuit or the car's taken off, whatever. So I don't know, something minor to kind of key in on, if you hear your partner's putting out traffic stops and you hear the siren in the background and that's not something you typically hear, maybe a little clue to kind of clue in on and maybe start heading their direction. But now I want to give a major shout out to the chick that pulls over and gets out of the car.
Kylie Sutton. That is Kylie Sutton.
Yeah, we got to give a shout out to her. Man, I hope she watches this because that's pretty cool that she pulls over and actually is the only one that tries to help this trooper. And she jumps on this dude. She's trying to do whatever she can to help out. Even goes and grabs the taser from the middle of the freeway.
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome. I mean, kudos to her. It's hard enough to get citizens to help you nowadays. I feel like when you're struggling with somebody, and the fact that it was another woman who pulled over, I mean,
on the side of the freeway. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
Kylie,
awesome.
You're a stud for doing that. Nice work. But it keeps getting worse and worse. So now you have two people trying to control this one person. He's still resisting. And at one point, as soon as Kylie comes on scene to help, the suspect somehow gets on top of the trooper and then starts kicking the trooper in the head. And that's when the trooper actually says to Kylie, like, get back, get away. So she's like, what? I'm getting out of here. And then she ends up shooting the suspect once, right in the right temple. It doesn't look like it's life-threatening, obviously, at this point. But he just kind of is like, what is going on? This whole time, his demeanor is very, well, we find out later that he's 2 times
drunk.
The legal limit.
And he doesn't speak a whole lot of English. So
yeah. And the whole time he's just kind of like, what's going on? And at this point, this trooper is trying to detain this person with her gun in the hand. And now she's physically touching him with the gun in hand. And this person has just resisted the entire time.
Yeah. Again, it comes down to what are your capabilities of controlling somebody and defensive tactics. I mean, look,
she does put out shots fired at this point, but I think at this point you disengage. You've just gotten involved in a shooting. This person has been fighting you. And up to the point when she fired her weapon, It was 4 minutes, 26 seconds. So she struggled with this person for 4.5 minutes, shot this person. You've got to disengage at that point. You've got to disengage.
Yeah, that's a long time to be struggling with somebody. I mean, you're pretty gassed at that point in full uniform. Now, if I could go back in time and watch this video and learn from it, which we have, and that's why we're talking about all this stuff, but putting myself in that situation, like, let's start recognizing all the red flags, the speeding, the fact that you try to initiate a traffic stop, he doesn't pull over, he's driving erratically, you're actually in a pursuit, and start recognizing like what it is that you're actually involved in, and then start getting more resources to come help you out. And then once this car does pull over, recognizing what you have, do a felony car stop, wait for your cover officers. Even if it takes a few minutes, it doesn't matter. Like what is the rush in this whole thing? That's how I would have played this whole thing out. And then, you know, also recognizing that you are on a busy highway and probably doing a driver's side approach. I'm not a fan of anyways, like even on a, you know, on a city street, I just typically don't do driver's side approaches. I'm a passenger approach fan, but certainly on the side of a freaking busy highway, I'm not walking up to the driver's side. So disengaging, I wish those things could have been done. I'm glad nobody really got hurt at the end of this. I'm glad the trooper didn't get seriously hurt. Again, I'm shout out to Kylie, the chick that kind of came to the rescue. I'm glad she didn't get hurt, but watching this video, there is actually a ton to learn from it.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on all those points. Kylie is an absolute hero. Thanks for stopping to help this trooper out. A lot of hard things to watch in this video. Every time I watch it, the first time I saw it, it was very cringeworthy. Remember, we put these videos out because we want you to be better. It's all about thinking about your mindset, capabilities, what resources you have. Please stay safe. This video is intended for everyone to learn from. So the next time, if you encounter a situation like this, you're critically thinking about it. All the flags that Kyle just talked about, please be safe when you initiate traffic stops like this.
And I got to say, I want to point out too that I'm a little disappointed that this fella is from with California plates, making us look bad.
Yes, that's true. That's red flag number 1 in Oklahoma. All right.
Well, yeah, catch you guys on the next video. Anything else?
Be smart and stay safe.
All right, later, guys.